Hello, everyone, and this is your host, J.R. Michael, with another episode of Make That Bloody Movie with Coffee. And in tonight's episode, we have a special guest. His name is Rick Balentine, and
what's up?
Go ahead, Rick.
Oh, I was just saying, hey, it's great to be here, JR. I actually have coffee in my left hand, and it has my name on it because I do forget at times who I am. And so this is really helpful. So if you hear me slurping, it's mostly because I need coffee and to remind me of who I am.
Got you, Rick. Got you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Rick is a Charlotte-based composer with extensive credits from film to television, commercials, and games. He is the owner of the Score LA Music Library. Rick Balentine's music has been seen and heard on Bravo, Showtime, WE, NBC, and MTV, the Game Show Network. So Rick's going to take us on a little journey with his music and how the magic began without the kilt, but you know. Hello, Rick. Take it away.
Well, that's just because you don't have the Zoom on, but I actually, we won't go into that. Let's just move right along, my friend.
Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, definitely stay tuned for, at the end of the show, we will reveal the coffee of the night. So you don't want to miss that. Rick will tell you his special cup, and I will tell you mine. All right, Rick, so take it away. Tell everybody who you are, how you got into this music business, and where it all began.
Yeah, very simple. It all began with, for me, finding my guitar or a guitar under my sister's bed at 5 when I was 5, and I taught myself how to play. And it was early on that my mom saw that I had a musical gift, which is great because I literally could not do anything else other than drool on myself. So that was really helpful. So I went through the Yamaha School of Music in about a year, and at that time, and then picked up the bass and went through high school. And then my first scoring job was the most interesting job in that I've ever had, where I went into the edit bay, and there was a Kurzweil 250, which is just a big sampler keyboard way back in the day. Okay. And they said, "Okay, Rick, we're gonna put the movie on, and you're gonna play live to the film." I'm like, "Well, wait a minute, don't I get to go like actually score it?" Like, "No, we don't have time. We're going straight to tape."
Oh my God!
That was my first scoring gig out of high school, and I've produced a lot of records and stuff since then. But it's just grown word of mouth since then, all the way to now, where I've just been blessed. Wow. To do what I've been doing, which is what I absolutely love to do.
That's amazing. They just threw you at it and say, "Here, go ahead, score the movie." That's
right. Which was funny because I'd only been playing keys literally for about maybe 3 weeks at that time. So I showed up in a diaper, I played it through, and we turned the fans on, and I made it through, and it was great. It actually turned out pretty good.
Oh, wow. You can't make this up.
No, that's how this business usually is, when you first jump in. But it's all good. Those experiences, being thrown in the frying pan like that, really make you either learn or you sink and die. Yeah, and it's just that simple.
Absolutely. You're the first person on this show that actually said that, like a story like that, where they just threw me in, and I had to swim or sink or die. Yeah, pretty much. Throw me in the frying pan.
But dude, I bet I'm not the first one that went to with the diaper on.
True.
I'm the only one that just doesn't care to say, "No, this is all a joke. No, I don't wear Depends. No, I got that. I'm good. I'm not incontinent. Everything works wonderful. It's great."
Awesome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the questions, because tonight we got special questions for Rick Balentine, and let's see what answers he's going to give with these questions. I'm very curious. Oh, and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, about the kilt situation, I am wearing a kilt. He doesn't know that, but I am.
Could you send me a quick pic? Still on, sorry.
Maybe I'll send you a quick pic. All right.
Oh, man. I'm glad church is tomorrow.
All right, ladies, let's go to question 1. If you can go back in time and give your teenage self advice, what advice would it be?
Oh, this is easy. When I got out of high school, I immediately started producing records, and I had an opportunity to teach bass at a college called Bass Institute of Technology in LA. But I just didn't do that. So really, my advice would be basically to go to college and get a business degree. That would have really helped in all my negotiations early on. Big thing is to see this more as a business than an art. Art will take care of itself, to me. But if you don't understand the business, you're gonna get taken advantage of, unintentionally or intentionally. It's just gonna happen.
Gotcha.
And the ability to really kind of control when the artist hat is on, and then when to take it off and put the business hat on, I think is huge. I wish I would have learned that early on.
You know, I had a friend of mine. He said the same thing, and you know what he did to correct that problem? He actually came in to a business meeting, and he brought 2 hats, one that said artist and one that said business. And he put the artist hat, literally, he put the artist hat on, and he was saying, I'm the artist, I do this, and he would take it off and then put on the business hat and say, okay, let's go and negotiate. And the people in there said, is this a joke? He says, no, I do this. This is a little technique that I do for me, just so I know when to be business mode and when to be artist mode. Everybody in there was cracking up. They couldn't believe it. They said, wow.
That is absolutely brilliant. I mean, that would really help, especially as younger composers or even filmmakers, when you go in and you negotiate a deal, and I love when they come up and say, well, look, we'll give you, what is it? You get credits, or, you'll get recognition and stuff like that. And I just, literally in my lifetime, I've never seen my mortgage payment come in and say, this is going to take you, to pay this, 1,200 credits. It's literally dollars. They're still working in the dollar system here. Right. So if I was able to really see that, then I would have really protected, I think, a lot of the giftings that I had at that point. But things have changed quite a bit now. I don't do that.
Well, we live and we learn. We grow into our nothing is failure. It's just learning. I call it the learning curve.
Agreed.
Let's go into question number 2. The biggest achievement to date in your career. What would you say it is?
Well, I'd have to split that between 2. I'd say my first one was my first national commercial that I did for a huge client out of an ad agency in Chicago. I literally worked 8 hours and made $40,000. Wow. And at that point, I had a revelation that, hey, I like commercials a lot, Right. so that was probably, I literally never made that kind of money in that amount of time. And it was like a divine revelation that you need to do commercials.
Wow.
It's funny how that just kind of that just happened, I was thinking about being a street sweeper, but anyways, so that happened. I think my other thing as an artist was when I had my whole family in the room and we were watching the Super Bowl, and I saw my first Super Bowl ad come on, my first Super Bowl score. And I think that was just phenomenal. I'm like, wait, I recognize this music. And I was telling everybody to be quiet, listen. And that's me, man. It was a high, and everybody was like, whoa, dude. Yeah, are you done with that? Can I have the pretzels? It lasted about a second and a half. It was an amazing second and a half. So I would say between those 2 things, I think those were my biggest achievement. But I in my heart, I believe that my biggest achievements are ahead of me with the new companies that are started. So.
Okay. Awesome. Beautiful answer. Question number 3. What would you change about yourself if you could?
My hair color. No, sorry. I would literally say, if I were to really judge and examine myself, I wish I could lead the team with more grace and be patient.
Okay.
Because that's why this works, being on coffee all the time, because you just can't slow down enough to figure out how to lead with grace. But when the caffeine wears off, you really have to look at yourself. And if you're leading a production team, or if you're in the role that I'm at now, owning Templegate, co-owning Templegate with my other two partners, I find myself leading a lot, and it just works well. But they are really gracious with me as I learn how to, be more gracious in the leading. And it's not that I'm demanding, it's more that I'm impatient with the process. And if I could just really relax more and more, which would really equal enjoying the ride. This is a great ride. I mean, I don't know a lot of people that get to take this ride.
Absolutely.
And if we don't slow down and we miss the scenery, we'll never see this scenery again in our lifetime. And so it's really important to enjoy the ups, the downs, the personality conflicts, the hard times, the good times, the triumphs, tragedies, all the things that happen in filmmaking. So I think that's the biggest thing I would change for me.
Awesome. I agree. It's the process throughout the whole thing, Okay. Question number 4. What was your biggest takeaway from your experience in your career?
Well, I would say composer. I think I wish I would have earlier on learned more about the production side of things on the other side of the table. I mean, I know a lot about composing and orchestration and mixing and overdubbing and all that good stuff that comes with being a composer, and everything in the edit bay and the mix bay. But really, if I could have looked into a crystal ball and saw that I would be moving in as a producer, I would have learned a lot more earlier on about all the different roles in the Army that it takes to make a film. It's unbelievable. And if for those of you who are not filmmakers, if you ever wonder about the Army, force yourself to sit through a credit roll at the end. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's like, hey guys, I know at the end of my film, I'm going to put in the entire phone book of California. So I want you to read it all. I mean, it's just unbelievable the amount of people it takes to make even a mid-budget film.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's amazing. It's like, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I think like as a composer, you have to learn or know all about all the instruments, the ranges, the bowing techniques, the phrasing, etc. And it really goes for the Army that it takes for the, to make the film. And I think JR, if I looked at it, would be that one. And I think my biggest takeaway from my experience right now is to choose my team wisely. Because if you see a compatibility issue early and you're not careful to see it before all the pressure hits, that could really come back and haunt you when the pressure is on in the production.
Right.
And I think really sussing out and finding that core team of people is so valuable. I mean, don't you see that as well?
No, I do. I think, when you were talking about picking your staff, and it's almost like being a captain of a ship. I always use that analogy. You have your crew members, and you want to make sure you got the right cook when the crew's hungry. You got the right cleaning crew, the right people to handle the boat, and assist the captain in directing the ship, So I do agree with that, Rick. And I also think that at times, in this field, a lot of people get impatient and they see the glim and the glam, but they don't know behind the scenes that it's a process and it takes time. And
right.
And
right.
They don't know that we go through torture and lots of coffee and screaming at ourselves in the mirror saying, "Are we worth it?"
right.
Yeah.
Right.
I know.
I mean, if I could ever, well, no, I'm not. I was going to say a joke, but it probably wouldn't have worked. So this is just a line.
Oh, okay. Okay. But and they don't know that being creative and also having the business capabilities to understand the business of this is very time constrained, because it's it's more complex than simplified, you know, and I think that's what people don't understand. They sit down and they watch a 2-hour film and they're like, oh yeah, I could do that. Yeah, you can, but you're still going to put the work into it. It's not going to just happen, you know?
Right. And, you know, early on, especially in the production side, when you're, you know, starting all you know, the beginning of a new film or a new project, you know, a lot of times you're bringing people on and then you're trying new people out, and you know, you can see things in just their little responses, and it's kind of like a sign that say that this is not compatible with your team.
Right.
I mean, my core team, I could give them my ATM card PIN number and I would have no problem doing that. I trust them on that level.
Awesome.
And you know, obviously as the circle expands, you would you know, leave off a number on the pin,
right?
So they wouldn't get it. But even on that level, you know, when you're depending on somebody, you need to make sure that everybody on the team really watches each other's back. There's no backstabbing. There's none of that. I think that's crucial in the filmmaking and even in composing as well. It is very crucial,
and I think a lot of people don't understand that, you know, all our egos is not going to take us to where we want to go. We have to put that to the side, because at the end of the day, when you look at the credits, it's not one man show. It's a group of people, army, as you would say. Tom Cruise does not become Tom Cruise without his crew members, his staff, and the people that are pushing him behind. You know,
right. Exactly. I'm not going to run with that one. Thank you very much.
No, but it's what I've seen. I mean, you know, you know, growing up, you know, people don't understand that. Like, yeah, you could do things for yourself, but you're still going to need your core team to kind of assist. Like, you know, you got your PR, you got your manager, you got your agent. All these are part of your team in order to get you out there and put you out there.
That's good. Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
And that's what people miss. They think it's like, oh yeah, he's there. But, well, ladies and gentlemen, he has legs, other 8 tentacles like an octopus that helps him.
Right. You know, and because, and you know this, in a production, things are going to happen.
Yes.
Things are going to hit the fan. It's going to get difficult. And if you have a good team, then that slack is picked up. And then you can review things and, you know, almost and like an autopsy at the end of the film. It gets, okay, what worked, what didn't work,
right.
What do we need to change next time? But in the heat of the moment, a good team will understand that things happen. And sometimes you have to get the others back. You have to compensate for something that didn't go right for somebody, because there is such a huge art component to making films and music and all that stuff. If you've got a good team, then, you know, you're covered.
Absolutely.
You're covered.
Absolutely.
And it really comes down to, like, I love the title of your podcast, Make the Film, man. Make the film. And I think if everybody on the team understands that the goal is to literally come out of this mess with a film, then it'll work out, you know, no matter what it is.
Absolutely. So. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll move on. I know Rick and I, we kind of sidetrack a little bit, but let's move on to question number 5. What are the life areas you feel you need the most growth in?
Oh, man, how much time do we have here?
We have about 5 minutes. We got 5 minutes.
Securities. 5 minutes. Okay, yeah. 5 minutes. Oh my gosh, 5 minutes. All right, let me just. I've got a bunch of paper on the wall. Throw a dart.
Okay, then three minutes, then, ladies.
Okay, no, I'm not talking about that one. So, okay, we'll try another one. I think, and I don't know. Probably yourself, maybe, you know, a lot of people that are listening that are A type will understand this. I'm an A+ type, and It's really, I have to work on delegation and teamwork, and because you know, just because you can do something doesn't mean you're supposed to do it. So if you can do something, but you should be delegating it, delegate it.
Okay.
Delegate it and trust your team to do it. Don't take everything on, because you'll burn yourself out before the end of the project. And I think that is a life area that I really need to grow even more at. I have a wonderful team. I have to tell you, Mark is just incredible. Tennille is literally my right-hand person. I mean, we probably talk literally 10 times a day plus, where we bounce ideas, then we jump on with Mark, and then Mark bounces ideas and stuff like that. And I'm really learning to delegate to these incredibly talented people, and they're doing the same. They're delegating back. So I think if I could grow with that, and then as far as a skill goes, just in the filmmaking, I would love to learn more and more and more about creative financing, tax breaks, the business side of filmmaking. I mean, I just feel like I've learned a lot. And then there's this whole other chapter that you got to take on. And then there's one after that.
Right.
And it's just a never ending growth process,
Right. Okay.
But again, it's like I said early on, it's being okay. Hire the best lawyer you can afford, and really gain, knowledge as you go, and then find people that do what you can't do and empower them.
Okay.
And I think those are really the biggest things that I have that I need to grow more and more in.
That's interesting you say that. I was thinking that I know Google, their company culture and philosophy is they appreciate their employees, and they show them, they give them bonuses, and the pay is very well. And I noticed that they realized that without their workers, they wouldn't have Google,
That's good. Yeah, true.
And I think if more people who come together, creating companies or are in a company, some of the biggest companies in the world, I think they've got away from that. I think they're more focused on the money rather than the actual personal, with the people you're dealing with,
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's really good.
People don't like
that's
to feel
really good.
Yeah, people don't like to feel like a number. They want to feel like, they're a part of something.
Agreed.
Agreed.
And then you're right, because then you're going into the legacy possibility where the company doesn't die when you do. It won't die. It'll continue on, because then you've brought people up and you're actually creating something that you can leave behind that will continue and grow.
Exactly.
And a lot of times I think we miss that in the creative process. We think that we're the gift, and we're not really the gift. We have a gift, but what we do with that gift really distinguishes our character from other people that become the gift and then burn out. And I think like you said, empowering the people like Google does and continues to do will create something that will last through the ages.
Exactly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and now we are hitting the hour of where Rick will tell you this whole time what he's been working with on his side of Cup of Coffee. What is your coffee of the night, Rick?
Dude, I am drinking this Guatemalan blend that is literally pushing hair out of my chest as I drink it. I mean, I'm sitting here and I look like Tom Jones. I'm just like, I look like I have a fro chest. So it's just amazing. And I'll probably, when we hang out, I'll probably run around the neighborhood for no reason for about 3 hours.
Oh no!
So that's what I have, and it's a white girl version too. It's even watered down. So thank God that's happening. What are you drinking?
Oh, well, you're gonna make fun of mine. Well, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm drinking is hazelnut coffee with a little cream, which Rick would say that's a white girl's coffee mix, but yeah.
Good Lord, don't take your kilt off, man. Put on an apron.
Oh man, thanks.
Starbucks across the front of it or something,
Oh, look who's talking. Top Gun over there.
It's because my hair's long now, so I get to have a feminine side, okay?
All right,
oh
Rick.
Gosh, Mark and Tennille are going to kill me.
Oh, yeah, they are. You know what I was thinking to end it on this show, that you talk about the kilt, and I always was fascinated with a kilt. I have believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, I have tried kilts, and they're quite comfortable and refreshing with air conditioning. But,
Oh man, we're not going there.
Well, I just had to say it. But besides the point, okay. Besides the point, I was gonna say, Rick, you ever thought? And I know you're laughing because you know I'm gonna come out with something. Having like a kilt session. So pretty much when a employee or worker in your staff that gets out of line, you tell them, listen, I want you to come in and I want you to put on this kilt. And this kilt right here, it says Templegate on it. You put it on and it means you are a Templegate employee. So now you listen to Rick Balentine. And here's your... I'm digging this.
But honestly, I think between Mark and myself and Sunil, I think she's probably the best candidate. Because Mark and I, underneath those kilts, man, with our legs sticking out, we look like we're walking with fluorescent bulbs. I'm telling you, we just glow in the dark. He's Irish, I'm Scottish. The sun hides its eyes when we show up, so it's not good.
No, I'm just saying it would be good. It'll be interesting. That your employees will be like, "What, Rick? Really? Yes." How does it feel?
Man, I'm gonna have to think about that.
Yeah. You'd be surprised. He might catch on.
Where a kilt is when I sit out on my back porch on my deck and just like a lot of times I'll just howl at the moon and then go inside.
Yeah.
Just it depends on the position of my chest hair at that point and how much coffee is put in. But
it's funny we're talking about this, but I bet you if you showed a picture with Templegate's logo on it with the kilt, you'll be surprised. It'll catch on fast. Be like, oh wow.
Okay, that's gonna happen. That's literally gonna happen. That is literally okay. Mark and Sunil, okay, let's get on this like right now.
And you'll see. You'll think of me, and you'll be like, oh, that JR, he's something else.
We'll send you one, man.
Thank you.
And you're probably more in shape, so why don't you model it for us, and we'll put you everywhere, bro. No coffee stains, though. It's just gotta be like. You gotta stand out there like a stud of the woods.
Oh no!
Mark at the moon, man.
I'll do that.
I have a claymore. I'll give it to you. You can put it on your back and be as Scottish as you want to be.
Thanks, Rick. I look forward to it.
Everybody else will too.
Oh man. Oh, Randy, if you're hearing this, don't repeat it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, it was a pleasure having Rick Balentine again on our podcast show. And again, stay tuned. We'll let you know when it will be aired, and it's going to be on 9 platforms. We are now being aired on iHeartRadio as well and Amazon Radio. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have a wonderful night. This is your host, J.R. Michael, with another episode of Make That Bloody Movie with Coffee, signing out.